Our next presentation will be from Nathan Sheridan.
Allow me to paint a mental picture for you. So please, close your eyes. Imagine a beautiful green football field. There's a light drizzle coming down from the now darkened sky, but the field is illuminated by the 6 poles that are surrounding it. There's a crowd in the background that's screaming in joy and sometimes disappointment. And then the sharp vocals of the quarterback are heard, followed by the clashing of pads. As the running back is making his way through the line of scrimmage, a 200-pound linebacker, whom we shall call John, appears from nowhere and pounds the running back into the ground. John, who just completed this great play, does not do a celebratory dance over the fallen running back. Instead, he stretches out his hand and helps his weary opponent to his feet. This sportsmanlike act is a sign of true leadership. You may now open your eyes. I would like to apply Rotary International's 4-way test to prove that this was an act of leadership. First, we have to ask ourselves, is it the truth? This may appear to be a difficult question to answer in this circumstance, but let me explain, however, that this was indeed the truth. John was being true to himself. John naturally was a kind of considerate person. Even though all his friends thought it was weird for him to help with an opponent, he was not going to let them get into his head. John was going to stay true to himself, even in the fast pace of the game. John could do all the hitting, the blocking, and the tackling that he needed to, but he was not going to stray from who he was. Second, we must examine whether John's actions are fair to all concerned. How is this linebacker a good leader if he's helping the enemy? John can't be a good leader if he wants to put the opposing force back on speed. But I tell you, John's actions are making the game fair for all concerned. John is showing his team that they can and that they will overcome their opponent through a fair contest. John's not going to purposefully try and hurt a key opposing player just because it will make it easier for his team to win. John is a true leader because he cares for the other team as well as his own to have a fair game. If each team were to focus on hurting key opposing players, there would no longer be a fair game. Instead, it would be a game focused not on winning, but on hurting. Now don't get me wrong, John's not going to go easy on the other team. John's going to continue to fight hard and show his comrades that he wants to win using all legal and ethical means. But he's not going to resort to unsportsmanlike conduct to gain an advantage. Third, do John's actions promote goodwill and better friendships? John's gracious action toward his opponent shows his team that he can be trusted, and he will not turn his back on them when they have fallen. If he helps the fallen enemy after the play is over, how much more will he help his friends? This will lead to more trust among the teammates, thus resulting in a stronger team and better friendships. And who knows, maybe John's action with his rival will result in a friendship. John could become friends with him once they have stepped off the field. Fourth and finally, we have to ask, are John's actions beneficial to all concerned? I would like to counter with a slightly different question. Would standing over the running back and celebrating be beneficial? No. Doing so would have resulted in a yellow flag being thrown and the loss of 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct. Is losing 15 yards beneficial for the team? Is celebrating before the game is over beneficial? No. How about simply walking away every time John made a nice hit? One could argue that this could be beneficial, but it's not a form of leadership. Walking away when someone needs help is not leading your team, even if the needy is from the opposing side. John, being the leader that he is, showed his care for all involved, even when doing so may not be the norm. John and his teammates did in fact win the game that cold and wet November day. They did so because of the trust that each player had in their comrades. They knew they could count on each other, and in John, their leader, no matter the situation. John helped to cultivate this trust, not by doing the expected, but instead by moving beyond the expected and extending a hand to his rival in a time of need. John's action was the truth. It was fair to all concerned. It did promote goodwill and better friendships, and it was beneficial to all concerned. John has exhibited the traits of a true leader, and perhaps even a future Rotarian. Thank you.